Back to the second day of finals from the World Championships, the Hyundai World Archery Championships in Berlin, and I'm delighted to be joined once again by former Dutch national team coach and compound archer Emil Kusters, who's here to talk about all of the day's action with us. And of course today was all about the compound finals, and with both defending champions from 2021 in Yankton knocked out in the earlier rounds, we have two new world champions. Of course, those two world champions, both from India. But let's talk a little bit, first of all, about their coach, Sergio Pagni. What can you tell us about him? So what can you tell us about Sergio Pagni, of course the coach of the Indian team, and they've had great success in Berlin already this week. They got gold in the women's compound and now 2 golds in both individuals. That's incredible, isn't it? Yeah, it's incredible for India, and I think Sergio Pagni had a great impact on this program. I think he's the perfect fit for the Indian team. I had the pleasure to share the field with Sergio, and I got to know him as a very calm, very respectful competitor, but also fearless and self-confident and self-conscious. So he really knew what his strengths were and what his weaknesses are. And I think to bring that over to such a young group of athletes, we were talking about Swami and Carl being 17 and 18, but also Diotala being only like 21. You can see that they really trust him. Obviously, he has a wealth of knowledge about technical skills, about psychology of archery, about equipment, but you can really see the way they communicate with him on the field, that they trust his guidance and that they really shine under his wings. Yeah. How has he changed their attitude? He's taught them to be fearless, hasn't he? Yeah, I think especially for the women, the men always had like archers that grew and that made medals, like Abhishek Verma, but now you see they have 3 women in their program that really stepped up and are just very self-conscious and very convinced about the way they can perform and that they can really do it under pressure as well. It's really amazing to see. How quickly has he made an impact with these archers? Yeah, he's not working for India that long. He only finished his own active career 2 years ago, but by that time he was already working for India on a consultant basis, I think. But within a matter of 2-3 years, he made them from just contenders to really winning medals. Yeah. And let's just talk a little bit about Swami and Vennam, who were both on that podium. Yeah. They're training partners. How must he have felt to see 2 of his athletes on the podium together? Yeah, I think it made all India and especially Pagni proud. Not only 2, but maybe even 3. That we saw 3 Indian archers today, and it really helps if you have a small group of athletes that really push each other. If you train with each other daily, it just levels it brings your archery game up by big margins. Yeah, it's very helpful to have training partners that are equally as good as you are. And we can see now here footage from Swami's win earlier today. Yeah. So impressive, wasn't she? Yeah, it's amazing to see. If a 17-year-old can do that, yeah, it's absolutely amazing. Just if you want to see the magnitude of what she did and what she can accomplish, just go home and check the results of your own national junior championships and see the scores that young girls of 17, 18 years are shooting there, and compare that with what she's shooting. It's unbelievable what she learned at an age of 17. It's incredible to see, and great celebrations, of course, from the Indian contingent in the crowd, and that's really lovely to see, isn't it? Yeah, yeah. You can even show that Pagni teaches them how to celebrate it, that they are really allowed to pick that podium once they won, to really take that moment and make it their moment, and not to be modest about it. Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's great, isn't it? And it's so important to actually enjoy your sport. It sounds like a silly thing to say, but the enjoyment is really showing through. Yeah, they have all the right to be extremely proud of themselves, and it shows that they believe and that they are allowed to do that. Yeah. Well, we'll talk a little bit more about India's women, but Poland, how promising that Polish team is, and that was an incredible win earlier today for Lukasz Szablewski. Not a win, but a silver medal for him. And what a performance that was. You were watching that one. What did you make of that? Yeah, we were always almost talking about Polish dominance in compound man as well. We saw Szablewski
dominate with the compound men team. He shot a perfect score. He didn't miss the 10. So I made him one of my favorites yesterday, and it was really nice to see him shine again. Only to be edged out by Diotale, but Poland. I think Poland has had their best World Championships ever.
Well, he took silver, of course, as well as the team gold. But tell us a bit about his shooting style. You were talking about that earlier. It's a little bit unconventional.
Yeah, well, it's a little bit unconventional. It's not the typical layback style that we got to see from the Americans like 10 years ago, and that was adopted by a lot of other countries over the years. He has a more of an active shooting style where he uses more like muscular force to position himself under the bow. It might have helped him a lot in the windy conditions, just to be able to steer his arrows a little bit better. Today was a very good day for archery, seeing that it was not windy at all, but you can see that even under pressure, he was able to deliver.
Yeah, absolutely. If we just look at him here, he's so composed, wasn't he?
Yeah, he shot amazing, yes. It was not, and to think about that is what it was his first World Championships that he competed in. Yes, he did some World Cups, and yes, he won a medal at the European Championships 2 years ago. But the World Championship stage, it's completely different, and you know that you're shooting for a world title that's going to last for at least 2 years, but for eternity. Very impressive.
Great achievement for the Polish athletes there. We talked, of course, about that compound men's final. Yeah. This is his performance from today. You talked about how impressed you were. A little smile there at the end.
Yeah, this is actually a compatriot. They had 2 people in the top 8. This was Konecki, who lost in his first round, but yeah, very impressive.
Very impressive indeed. Let's go back then to India's archers. We have to talk some more about just how impressive they were. Yeah. Of course, Aditi Swami, she became the youngest world champion ever in recurve or in compound, men's or women's. Just talk about how much of an incredible achievement that actually is.
I don't think we ever had a world champion who was a cadet world champion, so an under 18 world champion and a senior champion at the same time. Over the last couple of world championships, we saw a lot of young compound men world champions, like Mike Schloesser in 2013. He was only like 21 or something. But now we see it for the women. Yes, very impressive.
And what a final it was.
Yeah, she really she shot an amazing score, and she didn't have any troubles, and she closed out with a perfect 10. Very nice to see.
Well, she was just millimetres away from getting a perfect 150, but one archer who did get a perfect 150 was her compatriot Diotale. Tell us about his performance today.
To win a World Championships is one thing, but to win it with a 150, it's amazing. We saw 2 150s this tournament on the finals field, 2 from Indian archers, and well, to win it in a gold medal match with 150, you saw his scores increase. He started with a 148, topped it up in the semis with a 149 to edge out Mike Schloesser by 1, and then he added another point in the final with a 150. Yeah.
So was it a case, do you think, of his confidence just growing as he went throughout the tournament, thinking, yeah, I've got this?
Yeah, you saw that he was very composed and he was very relaxed on the stage. He was so focused. He was communicating very well with Sergio Pagni in the coach box, and he didn't show any emotion until that win. You saw little tears in his eyes of what he accomplished, but up till that time, he was very composed.
Do you think that's, again, the Sergio Pagni effect, holding back a little bit, just keeping the emotions in check?
Yeah, it's just focusing on being in the moment and focusing on what you need to do to hit a 10, and not let your mind drift away from what could happen, even if it's winning or losing, but really being in the moment and enjoying the moment as it is, and just do your thing.
And he's another one with a really bright future, isn't he? Like you said, all these Indian archers, pretty young.
They are still very young. So, and they even at a World Cup in Medellin, they had another young athlete who also won the gold medal. So India has a bright future ahead, and I think other countries should really watch out to not have an Indian dominance for the next 10 years, because they have a great set of athletes. Yeah.
Absolutely do, yes. And of course, making up that podium as well was Mike Schloesser, Mr. Perfect, your compatriot, your good friend. How did you feel watching him?
I was very stoked and very happy about seeing the Mike Schloesser that we all want to see. I think the commentator spoke a lot about Mike's challenges he has in closing out matches, that if you stay close to Mike, that you can win. But this tournament really showed that he made tremendous progress in closing out matches. He had a little bit of a rough ending to his bronze medal match, but to finish that with an X, to win it, because he needed a 10 for that bronze medal, it really showed that he's growing to his best form, and yeah, he's certainly somebody to watch out for the next 10 years.
Absolutely, yeah. And tell us about that tricky ending that you alluded to there.
Yeah, I believe that he, in his full focus, he took the wrong bow. He took his backup bow. We know that Kim is a very fast archer, so Mike took his backup bow, realized it too late, stepped back, took his first bow, then didn't have time to put on his finger sling, so he had to consciously hold his bow. In the melee, dropped his release, so his thumb pack shifted, moved a little bit, so it influenced his first shot of that set tremendously. He was still, it's amazing that he still can shoot it in a 9, but he had a 2-point advantage at that time, and it dropped to 1 point. So he knew that he had to be perfect in his second and third shot. So, yeah, quite an eventful fifth set.
Yeah, really dramatic fifth set. But he's done something like that before, hasn't he? Changed bows.
Yes, in 2016, when I was behind him in Shanghai at the qualification, he did it as well, but he did it on purpose. He shot the qualification with 2 bows, and he just alternated between bows every end of 6 arrows, and he actually shot a world record with 717 then. But at that time it was his plan. He just trusted both his bows evenly. But yeah, you don't do that in a final shooting for a bronze medal at the World Championships. Yeah, so this was not planned.
Well, it did him no harm when he did it before, but no. Best to play it safe, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, one archer who really impressed today, Jyothi Vennam, she made a real statement, didn't she, in that bronze medal match. She shot 150 against Ipek Tomruk with 10 X's. For context, the world record is 12.
Yeah.
How impressive was that?
Yeah, you have to put yourself in the situation of her. We all hyped her, and before the tournament, she was the big favorite, coming third and second in the last 2 World Championships. So she was the girl to beat. And then losing to your teammate in a very good match, and then having to reset your mind within like a period of 15 minutes, because between the match she lost in the semis and the bronze medal match, it's only like 15 minutes. So you have to completely reset and put all those the bad thoughts away because you lost, and then to step on the field and shoot a 150. Like you could see it in her eyes. She had like a little bit of a vengeful demeanor, like she really felt that she needed to prove something to the world, that she is a top archer, and she completely did. Yeah.
But that's incredible, like you say, to come from the disappointment of not making that final to within 10 minutes or so composing herself to put on a performance like that is really incredible, isn't it?
And I think that's also that Sergio Pagni helped her with to coach her through that process of okay, we lost this match, but we still have a medal to win. Let's go out there and do the best, show the best archer you are.
And of course, that performance definitely worthy of being world champion.
Yeah, I think it's obviously a 150 is worthy of world champion. Now she had to settle for bronze, but I think if you look at the semifinals, she will be very proud at her teammate Swami as well, because I think Swami really deserves this world title.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of Swami, it is now time for our Archer of the Day, as picked by our commentators Karen Beshier and Chef Vandenberg, who've been watching the action. Let's get their pick.
So it's the end of day 2 of the Hyundai World Archery Championships. A fantastic day, compound Saturday. It's a really tough one today, Chef, but who is your Archer of the Day?
Yeah, once again, there's many archers to choose from, but I think there's really only one good choice in this regard, and I think it's going to be Aditi Gopichan Swami. Only 17 years old, under 18 world champion just months ago, having some really high scoring matches today, even beating Sanne de Laat in a stellar shoot-off with an X after 148. I mean, the whole day was just great for her.
Yeah, that particular shoot-off impressed me the most. At 17, she looks completely at home on the senior world championship stage.
Yeah, of course, she was probably more nervous than what she showed to the world, but it just seemed like she was calm and collected throughout the whole match.
Youngest ever world champion and the first Indian archer, male or female, to win an individual title. But we've got to say, Ojas Pravin Diatole came up this afternoon, and what a win at 150 in the final. I know that Swami's your pick of the day, but I can't let that go unmentioned.
I agree. It's a very honorable mention for Pravin Diatole. I mean, shooting a 150 for the world title in the first time you even compete in the World Championships is absolutely insane.
Brilliant stuff. So chef's archer of the day is Swami from India, and a close second it was, of course, Diatale, the Indian who won the men's compound.
To the recurve, and what better place to start? Lim Si-yeon has undoubtedly been the recurve story of the year with a 100% unbeaten record in World Cups. Let's take a look.
안녕하세요. 저는 대한민국 국가대표 임시현이라고 합니다. 일단 올해는 아시안게임을 중점으로 보고 있고요. 아시안게임 단체 우승을 생각하고 있고, 지금 세계선수권대회에서도 단체 우승을 보고 있고요. 거기서 조금 더 욕심을 내자면 개인전 우승이랑 혼성도 해보고 싶습니다.
아직까지는 올림픽은 못 나가셨는데 이제 베를린에서 올림픽 티켓을 따실 수 있죠? 긴장되지는 않으세요?
아직 시합이 시작이 되지 않아서 그렇게 막 긴장이 되기보다는 일단 베를린이란 곳에 처음 왔단 말이에요. 그래서 너무 신기하고 구경하느라
초등학교 때, 중학교 때, 고등학교 때는 어떤 선수였어요?
그때는 그냥 열심히는 하는데 결과가 그렇게 막 따라와 주진 못했었고요. 그냥 열심히만 했던 선수였던 것 같아요.
그럼 어떻게 이제 국가대표를 되셨어요?
좀 생각을, 그땐 좀 부정적이었었는데 생각을 좀 긍정적으로 바꾸기도 바꿨고 좋은 선생님을 만나서 많이 배웠던 것 같아요.
부정적인 생각에서 긍정적인 생각으로 바뀌는 게 쉽지는 않은데 어떻게 바뀌셨어요?
그냥 친구들하고 놀면서 그냥 계속 웃고 다녔는데 그게 성격이 돼버렸어요.
응원하고 있습니다.
감사합니다.
네.
Well, there is still plenty more to look forward to in these World Championships, with the individual recurve medals to be decided tomorrow. And one match we're really looking forward to seeing is An San versus Casey Kofeld. So let's take a look at what happened the last time this pair met at a World Championships. Well, An San lost. The only match An San lost in 2021 was to Casey Kofeld in the World Championships in Yankton. She took silver. Kofeld went on to take silver, of course. An San took the bronze. We can take a look at how that all unfolded. Of course, we'll be seeing a repeat of that fixture tomorrow, which is pretty exciting, isn't it, Emil? Do you think that An San still thinks about that loss?
It's already 2 years ago. I don't think she will be thinking about that a lot. She probably has shot a lot of matches in those last 2 years, where she won most of them, lost a couple. So I don't think she really will be thinking about that specific match again when she's facing Casey Kofeld. No.
How much do you think that An San wants to take home a medal, given that the recurve team were eliminated earlier in the competition?
Yeah, I think all the three Korean girls will be very excited and very very eager to take a medal home. They haven't taken the 3 quota places yet for the team, so they have to still fight for quota places. Tomorrow there will be quota places on the line, so it's not only the World Championship medal but also the quota places. And depending on, because she's the first Korean to come in action in the second match, so depending on the outcome of the Valencia against Sugimoto match, if Valencia wins, a win in the second match by either Kofold or Ansan guarantees a quota spot, because Mexico already has 3. Yeah.
So who's your pick for this one then, Ansan or Casey Kofold?
I'm going with Ansan for this time, yeah.
Okay, and do you think, we spoke a little bit earlier on about athletes who feel they might have a point to prove. Do you think the Koreans feel they have a point to prove in the individual?
Most definitely, yes. The Koreans, they obviously they got knocked out for them way too early in the tournament as a team. Yes, they took the gold in the mixed team, but that was only for Lim. So yeah, so all the Koreans, they want to bring an individual medal home, and they can still do a 1, 2, 3. So we might have a full Korean podium. We might, and we'll talk about that tomorrow if you turn out to be right, Emil. Do you think that Casey Kofold and Ansan, they're both similar in age, they've played each other before, they're facing each other again tomorrow, of course. Do you think we could see this as the start of maybe a big rivalry? We might have. We know the Kim Woo-jin Brady Ellison rivalry, where we're talking about who's the recurve goat of archery, and well, for the ladies, we might have Ansan Casey Kofold Korea versus USA rivalry as well. But well, Ansan has to deal with a lot of competition in her own nation with Lim Se-yoon and Kang Chae-young. So it's not only Ansan who's fighting for the medals. Yeah, of course. And she says she likes a big crowd. She says she thrives with a big crowd watching her, and of course she's going to have that tomorrow. So do you think that might give her the edge? I hope there's going to be a big crowd, and yeah, let's hope that gives her an edge. But we know Casey Kofold, and Casey Kofold is the same. She really thrives under pressure, and she won a couple of nice medals with in the mixed team together with Brady Ellison. So it's going to be an exciting match. Yeah. Of course, and Casey Kofold, she's one archer who wants to halt that Korean dominance. Another one who will want to stop the Korean dominance is, of course, the Brazilian world #1. Do you think that Marcus D'Almeida, he can do it tomorrow? He's taking on Kim Jae-duk. Yeah, Marcus D'Almeida has a nice bracket in front of him towards the World Championship medals. He has to face the sole Korean man in the bracket, and then has met Gazos, the Olympic champion, in the semifinals. So Marcus D'Almeida has a nice route towards the World Championship gold. He does, of course, and silver in Yankton in 2021. The man who beat him no longer in the tournament, so he must be thinking that this is his chance. Yes, but I think Marcus D'Almeida is realistic as well, and seeing the athletes that are still in the Elite 8. It's not there only to pick it up for him. He really needs to fight for it, and he probably will have 3 strong matches in front of him to make it to the top step of the podium. Yeah. Well, he says he doesn't feel any pressure having that world #1 ranking. Do you think he must do, though, mustn't he? I think it shows. He shot an amazing World Championships 2 years ago, but after that he won a World Cup. He's already qualified for the World Cup final. In the last couple of years, Marcus D'Almeida really settled himself as one of the top archers. And I think when you're on the podium, the world ranking is not necessarily something you'll be thinking about a lot. It's usually something that's being calculated after the tournament, and you never know how it pans out because you're always losing points, gaining points. So I don't think athletes are very pressured by the world ranking spot. No. Well, he says that the finals are his place, so he feels that he deserves his place. Yeah. Do you think that the confidence is a large part of what's got him to the top? I think confidence is extremely important in archery. You have to be confident to be yourself at the stage. Only by being yourself you can set the scores you want to set. And Marcus D'Almeida exudes that self-confidence and that self-belief, and he's really being himself, and that helps him a lot. And Kim Jae-duk, of course, he'll want to keep the world title in Korea, won't he? There's a lot of pressure on him. Yeah, the ladies are with the 3 of them, and Kim Jae-duk he's the only Korean man, so he has to do it for Korea. Yeah, so I think Kim Jae-duk will have more pressure than Marcus D'Almeida, because Kim Jae-duk has has the whole nation of Korea, trusting him and needing him to win that medal.
Absolutely, and if we look at Marcus d'Almeida earlier in the week, he coped really well, didn't he, with the windy conditions. So no matter what the weather is, he's shown he can do it.
Yeah, I think Marcus d'Almeida showed on numerous occasions that he knows how to do it. Yeah, definitely.
Prediction for that one then?
I'll go for d'Almeida for that one, but I don't know if it's for the world title. He really has a very strong bracket in it to get that world championship title.
Well, we will see. It will all be happening tomorrow. So let's take a look then at some of those other recurve finals and get your predictions. Emil, you've been giving us your predictions over the last couple of days. Some have turned out to be right, others not so much, but you are 3 from 3 today. So let's hope that you can continue that streak. So let's look at tomorrow's women's recurve. This is how the draw is panning out. Emil, how do you see that? How do you see this happening? Who's going into those semi-finals and who's going into the final?
I think it will be a Valencia Ansan semi-final and a Kang Lim semi-final, and then a Lim Ansan gold medal match.
Okay,
that's my prediction for the Lim.
And which are you really looking forward to?
I'm really looking forward to that Casey Caulfield Ansan match, definitely.
Of course, and we can't forget that those Olympic spots are still up for grabs as well.
Yeah, 4 nations battling for three spots, so only one nation will be very disappointed not to end up with a quota place, but we'll see. Yeah.
And who's your podium? 1, 2, 3?
So I think it's going to be Lim, Ansan, Kang. Yeah,
okay.
I'm going for a full Korean podium.
Okay, you heard it here first. Let's move on to the men's then. What are your predictions for the men's? Any surprises in that last 8?
Yeah, definitely. On the top side of the bracket, we have 3 surprises, I think. Only Steve Ryler is a name you could expect there. Obviously, he already been on the podium at the World Championships with a 3rd place in 2017 in Mexico. So I think Steve Ryler is on the favorable side of the bracket, and I see him go all the way to the gold medal match. On the other side, we have Marcus d'Almeida, Kim Jae-duk, Meta Gazos, and Ricardo Soto. And of those 4, I'm going for Meta for the gold. Meta already shot on the stage. He really carried his Turkish team towards 3 quota places. He's shooting very confidently. So I'm going for Steve Ryler, Meta Gazos gold medal match.
Okay. And which of those top 8 have already qualified for Paris next year?
I think it's Korea has spots. The Japanese archers have spots, and Turkey has spots. So the 5 other countries are shooting for 3 quota places. Yeah.
And of course, you don't have any Dutch athletes to cheer on.
Yeah, we have Steve Ryler. So
of course, sorry,
and
Steve, he's your sole representative. You'll be pouring all your energies into cheering on Steve. What do you rate his chances are?
I think he will go towards the gold medal match because I've seen Steve, and I know that he's a fighter, and he really likes that match play system. So I'm seeing him go all the way to the gold medal match. Yes.
Hopefully, for your sake, Emil, that your predictions turn out to be true. Otherwise, we'll be coming back tomorrow and making fun of you for that, because although you did do well today, 3 from 3. Yeah. So that is the recurve finals day tomorrow. There's Olympic spots, obviously, of course, still up for grabs, and so much to look forward to still. What's been your highlight of the day then? We talked about, obviously, the archer of the day, Swami, amazing, but what was a real standout moment for you in today's action?
I'm still just flabbergasted by the level of the Indian girls. It's I've been a coach of junior athletes as well, and to see what they do at an age of 17, 18 years, that's just incredible. Yeah. So that's my takeaway from this tournament. It's the Indian girls, and obviously to see a Mike Schloesser. That's how we want to see Mike in finals.
Yeah, it's always great to see Mike. So yes, tomorrow's recurve, certainly one to look forward to. Thank you very much, everybody who's tuned in today. We hope you've enjoyed the live action. Hope you've enjoyed Emil's contributions, whether you agree with his predictions or not. Live scores will be available from tomorrow on the World Archery website, and there will, of course, be coverage on World Archery's digital platforms throughout the rest of the competition. And this is the schedule. This is how you can watch tomorrow. This is what you can look forward to. Those women's and men's recurve finals. We start with the women's, the quarterfinals, before we get to that gold medal match at around about 11:30. And of course that precedes the men's. The men's will be coming up after that, so an action-packed day for you all to enjoy. The men's will be starting just after 2 o'clock, and the gold medal match, the gold medal, the new world champion, will be decided at 3:30. The coverage of these Hyundai World Championships being shown worldwide, of course, by our broadcast partners, and those sessions that you just saw on your screens there will be streamed on World Archery's YouTube channel, so make sure you don't miss that. But thank you very much for joining us. I hope you've enjoyed the action from today. Many thanks to Emil, former Dutch coach, who's provided some excellent insight into today's action, and we look forward to seeing you all again tomorrow.